Anyway, I'd like to call to order this Thursday, June 3rd, 2021 meeting of the Springfield Historic Commission. Commissioners Walsh, Nardi, McFarland, Finn, and Kroll are in attendance. In order, let me just read my little, not disclaimer, but my little, in order to enable municipal government to continue its work during COVID, which hopefully is coming to an end, we actually don't know. And just for those of you who are wondering, until we hear otherwise, we'll be meeting this way, from as moving forward. So anyway, while assuring both city employees and citizens can satisfy CDC social distancing guidelines, the city of Springfield providing public notice will conduct the public hearing using remote technology. Copies of petitions, texts, and maps may be requested by email or phone. Email should be directed to the Office of Planning and Economic Development at aallen@springfieldcityhall.com or by calling 413-787-6020. And to view the public hearing, it's Focus Springfield Community TV website. Public comments will be taken in two segments. The first public comment period will take place prior to the meeting discussion. The second public comment period will take place after the meeting, will remain open for 24 hours after the meeting. To provide for public comment in writing, email Springfield Historical Commission, 70 Tapley Street, Springfield, Mass. 01104, or email allen@springfieldcityhall.com. And to provide for public comment by voicemail, 413-750-3223. Messages received will be played at the Historical Commission hearing or continued hearing date. All commenters should state their name, address, and company or organizational affiliation in addition to the items their comments pertain to. Voice messages received 24 hours before the hearing will be put into the record during the public hearing, and comments after will be entered in the continued date for the hearing. Voice messages are limited to 2 minutes. To request a reasonable accommodation or language service, please call 413-787-6020. And just so those of you who, although I see a couple of new names there, just so that you'll know how some of this works, we are a quorum of the commission, not a quorum of those present. So at any time, regardless of the number of commissioners, we need 4 yes votes for anything to pass. Right now, we happen to have 5 commissioners on, so we have a quorum +1, which is good. Let me get my agenda. We have no minutes to go over, no tabled items. We have several continued public hearings. Alvin, on 367 Hancock Street, is this Springfield Preservation Trust letter need to be entered into the record?
Yes.
Okay. So the first one is 367 Hancock Street, creation of a new historic district, Elias Brookings. This is a letter dated June 2nd, 2021, Springfield Historic Commission, 70 Tapley Street, Springfield, Mass. Dear Springfield Historic Commission. The Springfield Preservation Trust Board of Directors has voted to support the creation of an Elias Brookings Local Historic District. The building at 367 Hancock Street, historically known as Elias Brookings Elementary School, was built in 1925 and designed by Morris Maloney and Joseph Roy and Sons in the Gothic style. It was modeled after collegiate schools such as Cambridge and Oxford. Even after the 2011 tornado, this building has retained most of its historic features and should be protected by being recognized as a local historic district. On the exterior, this includes the entry pavilion with the school's name and date of construction, and on the interior, the building remains at terrazzo floors. Reusing this building for affordable community housing would be a great repurpose for such a large structure. This building is a true treasure, and future Springfield residents will admire it. Thank you for consideration, Derek Strand, President. Of course, I have a couple others here. No, this one, this other stuff's already been entered in. I think we're all set. Peter, is there anything else you'd like to add today?
The only update I have since when I appeared before the commission recently was that we actually have formally submitted the initial steps. We've taken initial steps for nomination on the National Register by submitting to Mass Historic, Mass Historic Commission, our initial application package. And it would take a couple of years before we get through the steps of Mass Historic Commission and then on to National Park Service for completion of the nomination on the National Register District. But at least we did get an acknowledgement letter just earlier this week from Mass Historic that they've received our application and will begin working on it. So
Excellent. Any commissioners that have any questions regarding this? So our vote is to send it to the city council.
That's correct.
And so I would entertain a motion to send to the Springfield City Council that we create the Historic District 367 Hancock Street.
We'll move.
Second.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, let me call the roll. Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland,
Absolutely, yes.
yeah, Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh is a yes. Okay, that has passed and we will send that forward to the city council.
thank you all very much.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Peter.
Okay, next we have 5153 Bay Street. Which is the same, and I have another letter I have to read into the record.
I don't believe the petitioners are on the call at this moment.
Okay, who do we have? Thank you for noting. I don't know who actually is sometimes. Okay, so we'll hold off on that one.
Yep.
Next is 187 Westminster. Oh, no, am I out of? No, Bay, sorry about that. 5153 Bay Street.
That's the one that we're skipping over. The petitioner's not on the call as of yet.
I got something out of whack here, so which isn't. I probably mixed them up when I was at your office today.
No, so you know what the issue is that they had two items on the agenda. That's why you have two separate folders.
We're passing them both. Passing that. Okay, so we are going to 187 Westminster. This is an application for certificate of appropriateness to remove parts of the side porch and repair and bring back to the original state. We had asked for a little more information on the structure. Dawn, do you want to just update us on where we are now?
Yeah, I had sent Alvin the dimensions and the materials that you had requested.
Yep.
So we were just using the same materials as the front porch.
Okay. So
So we're
it's-
widening the step, adding rails and getting rid of all the enclosure that wasn't supposed to be there.
right. Okay, let me just look at I have dimensions for the side porch, the steps 2 by 12 by 8 steps, stringers, pressure treated, 4-foot stringers, 4 by 4 by 4 Douglas fir post, and 2-foot railing sections.
Just widening the steps to where,
They used to be, right?
yeah, there was no railing on the other side, so we're just bringing it to the original railings.
Did you happen to look at the railing guidelines? No, that we have? No. I think I'm going to break this down. I'm going to probably drive you nuts, Don, but I'm going to break this down one more time, only to, I might separate out the railings from all the other work you're doing. And
In the front of the house, they have metal railings.
yeah.
So
Oh, well, yeah. So this is. Okay, Alvin's putting it up in front of us. What kind of, can you describe the railings they have in front?
They're metal. They're metal. I don't think they should be there either. Place.
Well, if you went to change them, that might be a different thing, but
Right.
I just didn't know if you had looked at some of the metal railings are appropriate and some are not. What we're trying to not have is just, to throw up posts and put, make a rail on it, something that's more
It's gonna
historically
look way
accurate.
what's there right now. Like that picture that you're looking at, it's not
Yep.
gonna be a railing like that. It's gonna be a regular, I thought that the dimensions were there for the railings.
Well, it says dimensions, but I'm not, it says 2 railing sections. It says the steps, the stringer, the 4x4x4 Douglas fir post, which is what I think you're attaching the railing to.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Any commissioners have any questions? No questions?
Yep. Chairman Walsh, I was not at the last meeting, so I didn't hear the original proposal. What
Well-
exactly is being removed? And did I understand, are the stairs widening?
Yes. What they're doing is restoring it into its original, is fairly closely to what it originally was.
Mhm.
And they part of the application is to enclose porch, repair and bring to decide enclosed porch. They're actually unenclosing it, repair and bring back to the original state. And we just asked for a little more information on wood. All of those, everything they're doing there is appropriate to improve the historic. The only question I have looking at, I hope I'd get a little bit more detail on the railing. And I don't know if anybody else has questions on how the railing will be. I'm hearing nothing, so.
Yeah, so, well, I'll ask. I mean, typically we would have at least a rudimentary picture of what the railings would look like. You gave us materials, which is great. So these are going to be wood?
Yeah, that's gonna be wood railings. And then we're just gonna paint it like the rest of the house.
Okay.
Okay, so is it going to be, the post comes up and the railing just goes to the end? Is it going to be mounted to the inside?
It's gonna have 2, right? One
Yeah.
going down, 2 holding it up. Cause there's 4 steps.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be right at the side of the stairs,
Sure.
going up to the.
Okay, and the railings that are there for the porch itself, those are staying?
Those are staying. Those are just being repaired because they're like falling
Yeah.
off, but I'm not even replacing those. It's just, we're gonna try to take it off, reattach it and put it back up.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else?
Right now with the nails, you can see the posts hanging with nails hanging off. So we're just gonna,
Okay, any other commissioners have any questions for the petitioner? Well, then I'd entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of appropriateness to remove, parts of the side porch that are not original and they're going to try to return it, repair it and bring it back to its original state having 4 steps, Douglas fir, 4 stringers, pressure treated, 4x4 Douglas fir posts and 2-foot railing sections.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion on the motion?
Just one more question.
Yeah.
All that pressure treated lumber will be painted, is that correct?
Mhm. Yes,
And the only pressure treated that they're using is the stringer, so
Right.
the rest is, the rest is replacement in kind, so, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland, He's muted. Commissioner
He's-
Nardi?
Yeah, he's muted.
Is-
Yes, sorry about that. I recuse myself from this
Yeah,
matter.
I thought you were going to, yes. And Commissioner Walsh says yes. It's approved for the work done. I just want you to do me a favor, and if you look if you find any other slightly more historic railings, just think about whether you could do it that way as well. But you're approved to do the work you want to do, so Alvin will give you the thing in the morning. And hopefully in the morning, or
Do I need to submit anything, when it's finished to you guys, or anything?
no.
Okay.
No, they'll give that to you. Just take a look at just take a look around and see, because if you're doing good, when you make a porch and you really do it up and you get all those details back, just
Yeah.
You'll be glad you did, and so will we. But you're all set.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
See ya.
Bye.
I'll be right with you guys. I just gotta.
My apologies. I forgot to state that we don't have any comments for that last matter of 187 Westminster Street.
Okay. Okay. Have any other people, have our Bay Street people joined us yet? No?
I believe the contractor is now on the call, Mr. Gerald Glass.
Okay. Is that all we need to do the Bay Street one?
So 5153 Bay Street, again, they have two items. They have one item, which is again, approving local historic district for that particular address.
Which we can do. Right?
And then they have a secondary application under environmental review for replacement of windows and doors.
Right.
I would ask that the commission hear both items.
Do you have a preference in the order to the items?
I'm sorry?
You have a preference in the order of the items?
I would deal with the local historic district application first.
Good, because that's the one I have up first. Okay. Okay, so this is 5153 Bay Street, relative to the historic app. Let me just read this to you. Springfield Preservation Trust, again, June 2nd, 2021, Springfield Historic Commission, 70 Tapley Street, Springfield, Mass. Dear Springfield Historic Commission, the Springfield Preservation Trust Board of Directors has voted to support the creation of the, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, Onchman House Local Historic District. The building at 5153 Bay Street, historically known as the Onchman House, was built in 1935 and is a colonial revival style. It's a rare example of this style in the McKnight neighborhood. And its historical features include a single ridge gabled roof, one-story bay windows, and a small wooden porch. This building forms a part of the historic character of McKnight. We believe its preservation should be a priority. Thank you for your consideration, Derek Strahan, President. Okay, so all our discussion and our vote for today is to send it to the
City Council.
To the City Council. So whether they're approving it or not, send to City Council.
We did receive another letter of support. It came in
Is it
late
here?
this afternoon.
Is it in here? No?
So I
Okay,
wasn't
go
able
ahead.
to send it to you guys. It came from Mr. Gaby, Dave Gaby, through the McKnight CDC. He is on the call. I don't know if you guys would just let him say a few words.
Well, do you have the letter?
I don't have it in front of me.
Okay, go ahead, David. Or not. I'm not sure that we need an actually, David, can you just state your support for this for us? I can't hear him at all. Can anybody hear him?
Yeah, it seems he's inaudible, but he is in favor of the district in particular. He did have some other comments, but he is in favor of this
Well,
particular district.
For right now, the comments, all I need is the favorability or unfavorability designation. Is there any commissioners that have any questions about it? No, hearing none. I'd entertain a motion to send this, please, I want to read it correctly. And send it to the City Council to make the Onchman House Local Historic District in Springfield.
So moved.
Second.
there a second? Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll start at the top on this one. Commissioner Walsh is a yes. Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes, sorry, I'm having trouble with my space bar for some reason.
that's okay. We'll wait for you. Don't worry. Commissioner Finn
Yes.
and Commissioner Kroll
Yes.
is a yes. So that all vote in favor of sending that forward to the city council to create a historic district. Okay. Also on the same property, I know we had a site visit. We have an application for a rehab, what is this, for review of project located within the National Register districts. Full rehab of the historic structure. Oops, we're windows replaced. So we had a site visit. What did we learn from the site visit?
We had Commissioners Kroll and Finn were in attendance at the site visit.
Okay. Either one want to fill us in or both, please?
Yeah, I mean, I'll speak briefly. We were at the house yesterday.
Yeah.
And although the windows are completely boarded up, we did have a photograph of the proposed doors, which I think we were okay with. And Alvin, you may have received something that you had requested, which was an additional document showing the exact specification of the window. But the windows as proposed were white. We wanted them to be dark in color to match the 1/1 panes in existence. They were going to supply us with a sort of a specified specifiers document regarding that. But other than that, I think we were fine with the proposal.
So I did request of Mr. Glass, the contractor, to submit an order sheet. However, he was unable to obtain one in the short time frame between yesterday and today, but I'll let him speak to that. He is on the call.
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Go ahead.
Okay, I did reach out to Pella, but they're only doing appointment only right now, so I'm waiting for them to get back to me, and then as soon as I get the specs and the item numbers, I'll provide it.
Okay. Well, do we have to like break this into separate the two and vote on doors and then continue windows or something?
The only issue with continuing is that this application would time out, so you would have, or I don't know that the contractor can request an extension. I think I would need someone, the actual petitioner.
Yeah.
I agree. So you can certainly, if you're fine with the doors, you can certainly approve the doors tonight or I mean, this evening. In regards to the windows, it may time out. They may have to reapply.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that there's a different window available to them to do this. It just
Or it looks like we have one of the representative of the property owners on the line, Miss Lisa Goodman.
Right here, sorry. I'm at work, you can see that, I have customers, so I apologize for being late.
No, that's quite all
I
right.
do have bills to pay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Here's what the information we need from you, Ms. Goodman.
Okay.
Because we don't have all the information necessary on the windows, and they weren't able to get it from the vendor. Go ahead.
I thought we were clear after this last visit with the contractor and the commission that the materials were clear on what we were using.
Okay, okay. So I don't know if one of the commissioners can.
Yes.
So,
Alvin, does
what
he
was
have
the change?
the information that was brought up with the materials? I thought we were all set.
So again, we requested an order sheet just showing the number of windows, the dimensions, the make, model. and, you know, the color of the windows, and then also the grid pattern, if any. Mr. Glass was requesting of Pella that information. However, he was unable to obtain it in a short time frame. So therefore, the commission may need to continue the matter to the next meeting. However, because of the timing of the application, we would need you to request a 30-day extension.
Extension, yeah, from the CPC.
Or from the historical commission. In this
Oh, okay.
Yeah. if
So
you could-
do I need to do that in writing? How do I do that? Do I need to send something over in writing or?
You can send me an email, as long as I have
Okay.
that. then-
Okay. But we still can, if the commissioners have enough information on the doors, we can maybe answer the door question.
Okay. So we need the colors. You say the colors of the windows. We did make it clear that there was no, which would mean the tint, right? Or the shade. So you need to see an exact sample of that. And what else?
No. Alvin, can you clarify what we're looking for her?
Okay,
Please.
I'll pull up an image of the door just to show you guys.
Well, Ms. Goodman was still talking about the windows.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that I know it's the color. You're talking about the tint, actual tint of the window as being the color.
The color of the frame of the window.
The color of the frame.
Oh, the frame, not
Yes.
the glass.
Okay.
Okay, so those are just gonna be white. Those are just basic white.
So
Yeah.
yesterday, you guys agreed upon a dark color.
Yeah, those are painted. The replaceables are just, oh, you want us to find the darker color besides
correct.
white, if possible.
Yes,
Is that
that's
what you're
correct.
asking?
Yes,
Okay, okay, so we'll look into that.
that's what we need to continue for. So that's what that is. Now, on the door side of it, Commissioners Kroll and Finn, do you, after being on the site, do you think that the doors are satisfactory for the location? It seems like they are. When I look at them here, it seems like they're okay, but what do you guys think of that?
Yeah, we thought they were fine.
Okay, good. Commissioner,
thought they were fine.
you thought it was okay too? Okay. What I'd like to,
And the only two doors that you can see from Bay Street are the front two entry doors. The rear door, you can't even really see from the back anyway.
okay.
Right.
So what I'd like to do is I'd entertain a motion to accept the doors, approve the replacement of the doors as written here and as illustrated with your, and then if we get a continuance for the windows, that's what I'd like to do. So, and Ms. Goodman, you are going to send an email.
For the 30-day extension, yes.
Yes,
I will
that
send that to Alvin.
Okay, thank you very much.
Tomorrow.
Okay, and then for the commissioners, if nobody else has any other questions or comments, I'd entertain a motion to accept the doors as it with the models, masonite doors, as written in the application.
So moved.
Second.
Say, any other discussion on the doors? Okay, hearing none. This is just regarding the doors. Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Oh,
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh is yes. Okay, so the doors you're all set on. And then thank you for that, the 30-day extension for the,
okay. Great. Thank you, gentlemen. I will send that off tomorrow to Alvin and I will get to work on presenting the color to you guys
okay.
before the next meeting. Thank you.
I believe you
Have a
guys
good
should
one.
vote on continuing the window matter.
Yes, we sure do. Thank you. That's why we need you, Alvin. Keep me in line.
He keeps all of us in line.
I
He's
know,
so
doesn't
good
he?
at it.
He surely is good at it. I'd entertain a motion to continue the application 5153 Bay Street regarding the windows to the June 17th meeting. Or for, actually for 30 days.
30 days.
For 30 days. Okay, is there any discussion on the motion?
Second.
Oh, second. I thought I heard a second. Thanks for the second. And on the continuation, I'll start at the top. Commissioner Walsh votes yes. Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
and Commissioner Kroll.
Yes.
So it's voted to continue to the meeting for 30 days, sorry,
Super.
regarding the windows. Okay. Hold on, I'm getting there. Okay, 51 Forest Park. Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Oh, thank you very much, Ms. Boomer. Okay. This is an application for certificate of hardship to relocate utility meter within 10 feet of the current equipment. Is there anything that the petitioner, was the petitioner on with us?
We are.
Okay, oh, there you go. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so. I think it was pretty much stated last week that we were somehow the approval didn't happen in the beginning, and that's all we were looking to do was just get the meter mounted out front.
Okay.
Like the previous person, so.
Okay. Is there any other commissioners have any other questions regarding this application?
Was this you had asked me whether, is this with the bush or the lake lattice?
Lattice.
Is that okay?
Who's
well,
is that David? No, David, you're okay. There you go. I was going to say you're on twice. There we go. Go ahead, Attorney Shuchuk.
So the commission is given substantial measure of discretionary power with respect to appropriateness of exterior architecture features whenever such features are subject to public view from a public streetway. So basically, the court would look at it would be your decision, and the court wouldn't reverse that decision unless it's a glaring error. So you would look at your experience and expertise as to whether it's appropriate or not.
Okay.
I apologize for not getting that to you in writing. I just a little busy.
That's okay.
Well, you know, in all honesty, since I was the one who approached the subject and now I have a legal answer for that, I think the rhododendrons kind of alleviated any concern.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Okay, then I entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of hardship to adding additional equipment to the exterior back wall, relocate utility meter within 10 feet of the current solar equipment. Utility meter boxes located in front of us will not be removed. Well, this is
right.
We already went past that. Okay.
Yeah. We're almost in a sense asking for the original one to be approved, but
yeah. I thought I had it down here. Okay, so this,
yeah,
the application, the motion is for application for certificate of hardship to leave the utility meter where it is essentially.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Is there somebody make that motion?
So moved.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Two so moved at the same time, so.
Yeah, I know it. 2 seconds, 2 seconds.
We're connected.
Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, let me call the vote. Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner McFarland,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Nardi,
Yes.
and Commissioner Walsh is yes. Okay. We're all set, approved for that.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I mean, solar panels aren't going away, that's for sure.
No, we all have to eat.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
All right, next we have 120 Harvard. This is an application for certificate of hardship to replace 40 windows, high cost of replacing window widths and the cost of existing windows. Is there anything else the applicant would like to add?
Yeah, hello, this is Charles.
Yes, is there anything?
Yes, yes, I talked to Alvin and I talked to a contractor who is willing to come and paint the windows to a darker color instead of the white trim there.
Yeah.
And then we went to Pella and they said they can get us an outside grid so that because the grids are in between the windows, but they can get us a grid from the outside to put on the outside to cover the white. So from the outside, you won't see the white, you just see the grid on the outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let me make a little note of that. Outside grids. And paint, you're suggesting you can paint them darker color.
Yeah, the trim and the thing will be the same color. The grid and we'll paint them and then put back the storm windows which are there.
I didn't hear the color. What color?
No, darker color. He didn't specify. We are looking at the colors which will match the house, but it's not going to be white. It's going to be something. Once I do get the color, I'll talk to Alvin before we do it. So I'll forward it to him and tell him this is what we're doing, and tell him I'll get him exactly the colors we're doing.
You're going to match the existing house color.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other commissioners have any questions or comments on this?
Well, I would say that, grid, your lights, and of course, a darker color do alleviate some concern, and it's definitely a step in the right direction, but I would like to see the colors. I mean, there is kind of still the issue of how the windows are seated in, but the grids, the light, and the color, it's definitely a step in the right direction on finishing this matter.
Right. Now, is this, I know some of these, I wish I could remember every detail, but some of these were already replaced. And
yes, they have been replaced.
Have all of them been done?
Yes.
Oh, all of them are done. Okay.
Yeah, they were all done.
Done on this one. I'd like other commissioners to just give their opinions on what we're doing here on this one.
I mean, personally, I couldn't render a decision until I know more about what he's suggesting. I mean, covering the external grids makes sense. Having it be a dark color makes sense, but I can't vote on something without seeing what he's suggesting. The other concern would be a lot of these have grids. I think some of these might have been 1/1s when they started, but I'd at least want to see what he's proposing.
Okay.
So what you're suggesting is you want to see something that shows what windows will have what lights or grids in them.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's there's such a montage of what's there.
Right.
Not to say I need it dumbed down, but I'd like to see it dumbed down so that it's very easy to know what we're kind of voting on to approve or not approve.
I agree.
Okay. Is this, how's the time on this one, Alvin?
We have time for, let me just check the date, but I think we have time for one more meeting.
Well, we have, this says a date received was April. Yeah, so we do, we can have one more meeting?
Yeah, one more meeting.
Okay. So we just need more specifics on what it's actually going to be, the color and the grids and the grid patterns of all the windows, or what are we asking?
Yeah, of which ones are going to be covered, what they would look like. Saying it's going to be an external grid, just like we've asked with everybody else. If there's a product number, if he's got a sample, that would be great, or a picture of what it looks like.
I'm going to suggest a photograph of every face of the house with just taking a black permanent marker. You can actually show where the grids are going to be and what you're proposing. It's the easiest way to do it.
Okay, I mean, if they're already in there, actually, if he's replaced every window and they already have the grid patterns in them. I think originally there weren't grids.
Right, but what Walter's saying is, what will they look like? Will they be the same grid pattern that's in between the glass? Or
Yes, they will.
Okay, so then photograph of it should show it.
Yeah, what I'll do, I will see if we can do one sample, then I'll send it to Alvin. And then from there, if it's okay for the next meeting, they're okay, then we'll go ahead and do the other one. Say if not, then we'll come up to,
okay,
to something else. So I'll just do one window, then I'll send it to Alvin. We'll look at it for the next meeting, and then you can make the decision then.
Okay, well, okay, that's okay with me. Then I'd entertain a motion to continue to the June 17th meeting for 120 Harvard Street application.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on that motion?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the lights and the grids would have to match up with the WPA project images so that they look appropriate. You couldn't just be adding new lights wherever you wanted or taking lights out wherever you wanted. That's the only discussion I would say.
I think since he's already just changing existing windows, I don't know. Actually, you could change the grid pattern, couldn't you? As long as it covered the original grid pattern as well, which probably wouldn't be. I don't know why somebody would do that way, but I agree we need to see more. So on that, any other discussion on the motion? So this is to continue. For more information, 120 Harvard Street. Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Commissioner Finn?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Commissioner Walsh is yes to continue. Okay, try to get us a little more information so we can take a final vote. That would be great.
Yes, I'll do that next week. And thank you all.
Thank you.
All right.
I apologize, I forgot to mention, we don't have any comments for that particular item.
Yeah, I'm kind of counting that you'd give it to us if we did. Let's see, we have 3 new public hearings. Okay, this is an application for certificate of appropriateness at 91 Central Street. Stacy Morris, construction of utility shed to the rear of the house, 12 by 12 plywood frame, vinyl siding, white, 38 feet from the house, 4 feet from the rear fence, not visible from the front of the house. Is Ms. Morris with us? Or, oh, there you are. Okay, could you just kind of describe your
Good evening. Good evening.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm not Mrs. Morris. I'm just Mr. Morris.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Well, yes. It's just 12 by 12. First, when I called the city, they said I could go 200 square feet. So I just minimize it to at least 12 by 12, you know, to
Right.
build it a little smaller than what they said, you know, just to fit it in, you know, so you don't project out to either side of the house.
Okay. Alvin, is there anything you can add to this for us, please?
I would just state that it's my opinion that you probably would not be able to see the structure from the public way. So I would say that this should probably fall under non-applicability. You guys could vote tonight.
Okay. Any commissioners have any questions or? Okay, so we can do that. If we take it as under appropriateness, we'd have to continue for public commentary, but if it's non-applicability, and if it's not visible, then it's not applicable. I would entertain a motion to accept this application for a certificate of non-applicability at 9 Central Street to construct the shed in the rear of the house.
Do we have to have a motion to change the application?
Well, that's why I said a motion to accept the certificate of non-applicability.
Okay.
As opposed to changing it. Jump in there, Attorney Shuchuk. You're looking like you want to say something. Oops, you're muted.
I think another member should make the motion that you made and then be accepted. Right?
Say that again.
I think someone should make a motion to change it to applicability and it be accepted.
Okay. We'd then entertain a motion to change the application from appropriateness to non-applicability.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Is there any discussion on that motion? Okay, hearing none, let's vote. Commissioner Walsh says yes. So my pen's now not working. Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Finn?
Yes.
Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Yes. Now that we have an application for certificate of non-applicability, I'd entertain a motion to accept that application for the construction for non-applicability relative to the construction of utility shed to the rear of the house on 91 Central Street.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, excellent. Any discussion on that motion? Okay, hearing none, let's do that again. Commissioner Walsh votes yes. Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland? Or Commissioner Finn?
Yes.
Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
And back to Commissioner McFarland.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, you can issue that non-applicability for them, Alvin. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all. Question.
Yes.
When it is finished, I need to send. Okay.
Nothing.
All right. I see you're shaking. Thank you very much, guys. Have a blessed and wonderful evening.
You too.
All right.
Okay, we have another conflicting application here on 92 Cornell Street. It says an application for certificate of appropriateness and non-applicability, 92 Cornell Street. Richard Hill, paint the exterior of the house with colors to match existing, restore third floor windows using new paint and putty on original sash, remove existing modern doors and reinstall original double doors with all the trim and siding to match the original. Wow. Match siding will be added around the newly installed doors. Okay. Mr. Hill is.
So Mr. Hill is not on the call. He's being represented by Mr. Gaby. Mr. Hill did state to me that Mr. Gaby could speak on his behalf. I don't have a letter. I don't know if the commission would require a letter in this instance, but.
Well, I think we're okay. He said it to you. I think it's okay. I would like that letter. I would like him to send that letter to you before we vote on anything.
Okay.
But I don't have a problem with David speaking out on this application since you spoke to the original owner. I mean, to the owner, or the applicant.
Okay, should I speak?
Yes, of course.
All right. What we're doing is basically the way I prepared it, we're painting the house and we're painting and puttying the windows, which I felt was not applicable because there's no changes.
Yes, agreed.
The doors, I'm not sure of how they were approved, but there's a 6-foot set of doors on the front of the house that is relatively modern.
Yes, I can see that.
And I sent a couple of views of the doors that Mr. Hill kept the original doors because he always intended to have them reinstalled in the future. And so they're in the basement, and I sent some views of that.
Okay.
And made a sketch of the way the doors are going to look when they're in the house, which the essence of it is they're going to be double doors, and they're a little smaller than the ones that are there now, probably around the same height, but narrower. And we'll be using cedar siding on the sides to fill in where the space is now, or will be after the doors are removed. So that's the essence of the application.
All right. No, that sounds good to me. And yeah, the only reason, we do need some appropriateness for the alteration to the door frame. That will be restored to as close to an original as possible, I take it.
We're going to use flat casings like the rest of the house.
Okay.
And the same width as the rest of the house. And like I said, the doors are the original ones that are been stored in the basement ever since the new ones were put in.
Yeah. Alvin, on if everything being done here is just repair and paint and reinstall original doors and redo the trim in original manner, does that not fall under non-applicability?
No, because the doors that are there now would be replaced. It would be a change. Even though it's an appropriate change, that's why it falls under appropriateness.
Okay. Well, I was just saying, because they're taking doors that were originally there. I'm just kind of tossing it around in my head. If they were taking original doors from that exact house, putting them back in that exact house, that might sounds almost not applicable to me, but it is a change. I get it. So we can either way works for me. So anyway, it's just the difference between a continue and a not continue. But
so the windows actually fall under non-applicability because he's not changing the windows. He's just repairing what's there. If the doors were already there and he was just repairing what's there, that would fall under non-applicability. But because he's changing the doors to what is appropriate, it falls under appropriateness. You're muted. Commissioner Walsh, you're muted. Commissioner Walsh. Okay.
Am I back on? Yeah. No, I was just kind of parsing the words of the definitions, because if it was an original door from that original space, then we're actually they're just doing something that's, it's the other door that was unoriginal. But it doesn't matter either way to me. I was just trying to get it moving 30 days fast. I mean, getting it moving one meeting faster. Anyway, is there any other thing you'd like to add, Mr. Gaby?
No, just that, like I said, it was always his intention to put the doors back in if he could, and we're happy to be able to help him out.
Well, that sounds good to me. So if there's no other comments, I'd entertain a motion to accept the application for certificate of appropriateness to reinstall the original double doors with all the trim and siding to match the original.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion on it?
I would just add, so long that you guys receive a letter of authorization.
Say that again? Oh, okay.
So as a part of any vote that you make, so long that you receive a letter of authorization from the property owner.
Right, okay. So should that be in the original motion? So whoever wants to restate that motion, go ahead.
So moved, including the waiting for the letter from the owner.
Yeah, pending receipt of the letter from the owner.
Thank you. Yep, great.
Is that all right? We're good? We had a second on that motion?
Second again.
Okay, any more discussion on the motion? Attorney Shewchuk, are we good on this one?
Yep, thanks to Alvin.
Thank you. I know it's always thanks to Alvin. That's why I
Exactly.
gotta keep that man around. Anyway, let me take the vote here. Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes.
Commissioner Nardi,
Yes,
Commissioner Walsh. So we'll continue that to the meeting on the 17th. Okay. The next one is this one 175 Baldwin, has that been withdrawn?
Yes, that's correct. So 175 Bowden Street has been withdrawn by the property owner and petitioner. So, but because it was advertised, we just have to mention it on the meeting here.
Okay. Is he coming? What's his plan? Is he coming back, or is he just?
It's actually a group home, so it's an organization that owns the house, and it looks like they will come back in the future. They said they're maybe in about a month they'll come back with a new application.
Sounds good to me. Okay, a couple of more. Here we took care of the Bay Street. Okay, now we have the preservation of historically significant buildings, 9 York Street, demolition of a 12-unit residential apartment building. Application for an exemption from the preservation of historic significant building, a demo delay for 9 York Street. Purchased in 2021, buildings built in 1904 in the south end of Springfield. Buildings 12-unit apartment complex that cannot be moved or relocated. Building is in failing condition on the inside and out. The layout of the land creates alleyways for drugs and prostitution. The demo of the building will help diminish criminal activity in the neighborhood. Okay, is there anything else, Jeb, you'd like to add to?
No, it's part, I guess my plaid code is going on as a car salesman. I got to make my little pitch here overall, but it is part of a kind of major development. So right across the street from that house, right now is currently that Saw Center building, the green building.
Mm-hmm.
Really, that was supposed to start yesterday, but the demolition of that building, and then that gets replaced with a laundromat building that is really pretty and in the look of, say, the South End back 100 years ago. Really pretty, really well done. So it's part of an overall betterment of that area, and it really will, for us, remove, which has really been a problem between us and McDonald's, with where we have, prostitution and drug dealings happening.
Is it occupied now?
There are, Becky, how many people? I think 7 or 8 people left, and we're, working very closely with Springfield Housing Authority and Wayfinders, and obviously handling everything the way you would want to see it. So we're not having any issues.
Because you said the failing condition inside and out. To be honest with you, the style and the construction of that property is something that we tend to try to preserve. So I'm not sure I can see that you haven't owned it very long. But are there legitimate structural issues here that would preclude it from being?
Economically, there is no, so it's Section 8, obviously housing, and I would say that the owner who had it, and she had it she owned it early 2000s, Becky. So she, I would say, milked it without putting anything into it. She was smart. She called us and said, hey, do you want to buy this building? And there's just no way somebody could make it a return on investment with 12 units. They'd be better off to build a brand new building. And I will say this, part of our reasoning with the laundromat, and I think Alvin did, because I talked to Phil, do you guys have copies of the laundromat building at all? At the Historic Commission, have you seen that at all?
I have not. I don't believe.
No, I've not received copies.
Would we? So I can, planning department's aware of it and has seen the renderings. If you will, we are upgrading a building that more than offsets what we're taking down in terms of not only neighborhood function and community function, but also what I'll say, the look and feel of the neighborhood. And by the way, South End Citizens Council is on board and endorsing this. And I want to be careful. I don't want to overspeak for planning department, but I reached out to planning department when the woman came to me. And it's really the last residential piece in that area. You know what I mean? As Phil Dromey said, it's not a residential area anymore down there. So he liked the fact that we had the laundromat and what we were doing. And the laundromat, again, besides the look of the building, which I will make sure, Becky, that gets that right to you. But besides that, it's really a great addition to the neighborhood. In a world where everybody wants to open up a cannabis shop, we're looking to do things that are, better for the neighborhood and the, citizens down there.
Well, we never doubt that about you. It's just hard to look at a building like this and think that it will be gone, because when it's gone, I don't think anybody's going to build a building like that right now with the facade like that or the potential for that style and structure. So, however, that is what it is. Any commissioners have any questions or comments?
I just had one thing to state. As part of your decision, you have to determine whether the property is historically significant for a few reasons. One, is it significant because of a particular person, historic person, a particular event that occurred at the property? Is it significant because of its architecture? Is it significant because of it's within a collection of buildings?
Right. I don't know of anybody significant there, and I don't know of any events. I just look at it and it looks, and it's not in a group of buildings. So in my mind, it's just, I'm looking at a picture of a building that I know I've driven by a number of times, but I probably never really looked at as I went by it. But it's just architecturally, is it historically significant architecture? I don't know, maybe Al can answer that for me. I just look at the style and the structure and think that it's too bad something like that has to be taken down. But that's what we're talking about. So if any other commissioners would like to jump in there, I'd like to hear from you, please.
I did send to you guys, there was a letter from the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission. The historic preservationist Shannon Walsh did a report for you guys to review. I'm not sure if you guys had a chance to review it.
I did not.
I didn't see it.
So,
but my gut is, well, yeah, my gut is, to answer your question, Vinny, there are many other buildings with almost identical architecture, so it's not like it's the last of its kind.
Yeah, well, I understand that. Yeah, I understand that. Any other commissioners? Okay.
Chairman Walsh, I do have a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Commissioner Finn.
Mr. Blease, if the building is demolished, what are the plans for the parcel of land? Do you have any?
Yeah, so it's got like a nook and a cranny between McDonald's, our property, and the very back there, and that's where and I don't know if you remember recently there was a murder in the McDonald's. Yeah. They took the car, pulled it, and parked it right in front of the 9 York Street. We had it all on video on our property. Our cameras caught it. So it's kind of a nasty little area. What's what's going to happen there is we've already gone to city council. We actually go back on the 7th for the vote on an expansion. It doesn't involve specifically York Street, but we're expanding the car wash. We're going to 30 free vacuums to the car wash and improving, say, access and queuing, all really to make it safer, easier access on and off of Columbus Avenue. So at the end of the day, this was not contemplated, by the way, when we did the vacuums per se, but it enhances and makes for a much better experience at the car wash, no doubt.
Anybody else?
I'm kind of considering what you're saying, Commissioner Walsh, especially the brickwork alone, the way that it lines up and was made by craftsmen and masons, and it's been there all these years. People have driven by it, and the history of all the people that have lived in it. Aside just from the historical aspects of it, especially at the top where you see the details that come around. I don't know. I'm on the fence.
Well, the fact that there's nothing else around it kind of makes me lean one way. If it was a group of buildings, if it was a neighborhood, if it was something where there was more residential, I know what my vote would be. I'm torn right now. I'm just not sure. I look at the pictures because we were provided with some pretty nice pictures, but I also understand if there's nothing else there of neighborhood.
Brownstone. Look at that brownstone above the windows.
Yeah. So, and if there's no, in some of these, they come before us and we know that the inside structure is just, almost unsalvageable or things like that. This just looks like a building that's just not being used or it doesn't look like it's too far gone. It looks like it could be, if it was taken care of, it would be a good building. But, the historic part of it is Commissioner Nardi is actually right. There are a lot of these in the city. It's just, I want to make sure we take due consideration before we tear any of them down, no matter where they are or what they're doing. And, okay, you just sent me something. What'd you just send us, Alvin?
So I sent you the report from Pioneer Valley Planning Commission, and this building has also been inventoried, and it is on the state. It is listed on the state MACRIS site.
Okay.
It's not designated as historic, but it was inventoried.
Okay. All right. Well, this is a tough one for me.
We talk about it being the only building in that area, but there was a time when that wasn't the case, and it's almost, and to certainly understand it was a blighted area, and what Mr. Blease has done is far better than what was there.
Yes, agreed.
It's almost like it's sort of this systematic destruction of a residential area and replaced with, commercial properties. And I know that's sort of naturally how things take place. But I do struggle with it because it's a beautiful building, or certainly could be. And I would just wonder, you've done a lot of creative things with buildings and properties. Just have you exhausted all opportunities for that?
So I guess we really did. And Charlie Arment is the one that, we've been working with to see if we could move the building. And he said he can't do it. He said it just can't be done. And I'm not an expert at it, so I can't give you every detail, but he just said it, can't happen. And I say this just to give you a flavor. Now, it's not technically the south end, but if you recall, on Belmont, we own the Acme Auto body building. And, I'm going to spend more on the enhancement and refurbishing of that building than what we paid for it or that it'll ever be worth. for the reasons you're all saying. It's significant where it is, what it does for the area. So I am very sensitive to that. There just has to be, you know, something feasible. And when I look at the Belmont piece, I look at it as kind of a gateway for not only the south end, but also going up Belmont, which, as you all know, is a pretty rough area today. And I kind of felt like we had to like draw a line in the sand and say, hey, we can't let this building go. By the way, the Belmont building, the problem with it is water damage over the years. Half of that building is actually collapsing.
Oh my.
So Charlie Arment actually is handling it. They've got to jack it up and redo one side of the building. And then obviously we got to put a new roof on it. And I only lay that out there to at least tell you that I really do care.
We actually know that already. We're pretty sure. And, but that's what makes this even harder sometimes, something like this. Well, if there's no other comments or no other questions.
I guess I would have some input. So for consistency, is this something we would vote tonight on?
Yes.
Trying to consider this for tonight?
This is a vote for tonight.
So my only concern would be from a board perspective. This board has pushed back hard on a lot of different properties in Springfield when something's come for demolition. And my only suggestion would be to stay consistent with what this board has done, that we at least do a site visit of the building. I mean, I know the building, I know the area, Jeb, I own property on Mill Street. I value and appreciate you as a community member and a developer, but from a historic member position, I value the integrity of this board, and I think we should be consistent in how we evaluate stuff.
Okay. Good. So would you be able to make a motion to suggest what you would like us to do tonight, Commissioner Kroll?
I mean, the only issue is that with demo delays, you only have 30 days to act. And
okay.
If we look 30 days from the original application, you want to be able to hold another hearing. So it would
I'm looking at it now.
It would be up to the property owner to want to continue the matter to allow for a site visit. So that's really his decision.
Of course.
No, I'll do that. I'll continue it. And the other thing I'll do, because again, I'm a car salesman, is I'll make sure you're forwarded the plans on the laundromat across the street, just so you have a flavor for the commitment we're making to that.
Well, any information you have, and I would appreciate that continuance from you. Sure. I would just give us a chance to get a little more information before we make a decision.
Great.
So I would entertain that motion to continue to the meeting on the 17th.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I would give it like a 30-day extension.
I was figuring keep it going. 30 days. All right. Well, withdraw that motion and make another one if you would.
So moved. 30-day extension.
Okay, moving second.
Continue. Okay. Any discussion on the motion? Commissioner Walsh votes yes. Commissioner Nardi?
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland?
Yes.
Commissioner Finn?
Yes.
Commissioner Kroll?
Yes.
Yes. And Alvin, if you could set up get that in the extension, I will email or something, but try to set up a site visit for us. This at least, well, only 3 can go. So for 3 of us, as soon as we can, that would be great.
And you'd like to access it inside as well?
If we can. I mean, we have, we have no purview on the inside of a building, but in the demo delay kind of thing, I guess, we have seen the insides of buildings to see the potential for reuse, or if they were too far gone, or we have done that in the past. So
just be careful if you're going in buildings like this. You don't want to fall through a stair that's not going to handle.
People are still living there, so I hope it's a little bit above that. And if it is too dangerous to go in, just tell us.
Well, at least, so Alvin, I'll just make sure Becky's available to you to answer or coordinate with you. That's all.
Okay.
Giving you all the cooperation you need. That's all.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate your consideration. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. I have.
I got to run to the vet.
Okay, we're good.
Sorry. If you need anything, just email me or give me a ring. Alan.
Okay, we sure will.
See you
Thank
later.
you. All right, bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Okay, well, we're getting through this slow but sure here. We're looking for a letter of support for 1331 Elm Street ADA accessibility.
That's me.
That's you? Okay.
How's everyone doing?
Okay, this says, let me just read this for the record. Dear SHC members, we're working on a renovation project requiring the entire building to be brought into compliance with 521 CMR Mass Architectural Access Board. Each of the stairways in the existing building located at 1331 Elm Street are not accessible. Dimensional uniformity, nosings, and handrails due to historic limitations. We plan to submit a variance to the Mass Architectural Access Board. In order for us to submit the MAAB variance for historic reasons, the MHC requires us to submit a letter of support and receive sign-offs on the ADA process form from the local accessibility commission as part of the ADA consulting process. Thank you. Have a great day. Okay. Okay, go ahead and jump in there, Joe, if you'd like to fill us in on what's.
Okay, so, are you familiar with the Court Square building at
Yes.
13? Okay, so as part of the project, the redevelopment project, they're going to convert this building, which was previously used for law offices and some retail spaces on the ground floor. They're planning to convert it to residential apartments along with some amenity spaces on the ground floor. And they will be maintaining as much of this historic structure as possible, including the stairways. And I don't have the architect or the historical consultant on the call, but they had mentioned that they were, I don't know if they have this on record, but they were told that they need to keep the stairs intact. Now, they will be doing some minor upgrades to the stairs because structurally they're deficient, but otherwise we'll be keeping the stairs as is. So as part of the work, 521 CMR, or the Mass Architectural Access Board, requires the building to be brought up to 100% accessibility. It's called the 30% threshold.
Yep, understood.
Okay. And there are various requirements in 521 CMR that essentially is going to necessitate us to reconstruct the stairs. We'll need new stairs. In understanding the historic preservation of the building, we plan to submit a variance to the Architectural Access Board in order to keep these stairs. Now, when we submit the variance, if there's any historical preservation reasons behind our variance, we need to go through the Mass Historical Commission. And as part of the Mass Historic Commission application process, we need local approval or a letter of support from the Springfield Historic Commission. So that's why I am here today.
Okay. So I'm just kind of trying to grasp. You're trying to keep some of the stairs. You're trying to keep the stairs and put a plan together that keeps as much as you can and still make it accessible.
Exactly. Yeah. They're putting in new accessible elevators in the building, and otherwise keeping the stairs with some structural improvements and yeah, it's mostly limited to structural improvements of the stairs.
So Alvin, I'm going to ask you a procedural thing here.
Sure.
Well, not a procedural thing, but a purview thing. Is this part of what? I'm just not sure that.
So it's in the National Register District, Court Square National Register District. You
Right.
guys would have purview on the exterior. You guys do not have purview on the interior.
Okay, well, that
But
was
if
my
you
main
guys,
question,
but
but
if you got, I'm sorry.
I said that was my main question, but I didn't know if there was some other reason why. I mean, I know we might support something when someone's doing an entire project like this, but you know, I want to make sure it's what we're normally supposed to be dealing with, I guess is what I'm saying. So go ahead, Alvin. Sorry to interrupt you.
So again, no, this isn't something that you guys would deal with, but because he requires a letter of support, you guys could just state that, you know, the work does not negatively, or, you know, whatever the language is, that it doesn't impact the exterior of the property.
Well, isn't that's different than a letter of support, though? A little letter of support for the project. Let me see. So let's see.
Well, I believe Mr. Igo put together a letter of support.
Okay.
For.
Well, there's nothing here that I don't think I can support. I mean, they're trying to salvage as much of the historic building as they can. What we all understand that after we know the 30% rule is that it has to be made accessible, and if they're completing that as well, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't support the project. The only thing is if all of a sudden something changes exterior wise, if something changes or something's going to look different because of the ADA, then we at least are supposed to see it, I believe.
Yes, they would have to then come before you guys.
Right. So no, I have no problem with a letter of support. Any other commissioners?
No, I agree with you, Vinny.
Okay. All right. Then, and what all will have to be in there, Melvin?
Again, I would just make some sort of comment. Again, he did put together a letter, which I'll send to you in the morning. But the language I would also include in the letter is that this interior work is not going to negatively impact the exterior of the building or something to that effect.
That's correct.
I couldn't write that fast enough, so you've seen my handwriting, Alvin. You know I couldn't do that fast enough. I'd entertain a motion to issue a letter of support. We don't have a copy of that right here. You can put up to see what.
Let me see. Here, just a moment.
Yeah, just so we can see it now. Who's chatting?
I have it open.
I got it. 1 second. Okay, can you guys see that?
Okay, yep.
I just have to change the date on it.
Yeah, furthermore, the structure retain preserve remaining historic fab to the greatest possible extent.
Yeah, 12 written.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm good. I don't know about the unanimously support. We haven't taken a vote yet.
He's thinking positively.
Yeah, you got it. Well, you're doing a project that big, you got to be positive.
Alvin, I do have one question. Sorry to interrupt here.
No, go ahead, sir.
So for the Mass Historic Commission application, I need a signature, I believe. Would I send that to you in addition to this letter or for sign off?
Well, I'll send this letter to the commission chairman, Vincent Walsh, who's on the call here, and he'll sign the letter if following an approval this evening.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, so anyway, I would entertain a motion to, oh, don't move that.
Oh, sorry.
Leave that there. So I would entertain a motion to support, a letter of support from the variance request, noting no adverse impacts to the architectural significance of the building or in the exterior, and further that the structure will retain and preserve all remaining historic fabric to the greatest possible extent. So if somebody can so
So-
move that.
so
Okay,
moved.
I will second.
thank you. And so moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, let's take the vote on that letter of support. Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Nardi
Yes.
and Commissioner Walsh is yes. Okay. You'll get that to me and I'll get that back to you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good night.
Good night.
And then, whoops. Now, we have a non-applicability. Was there paperwork on this one in here or no?
I can't recall if I,
Oh, here it is. Actually, you did. Yeah, that's right. I put it aside because it was potentially non-applicability, but we just want to, just to make sure that things are falling where they're supposed to be. There was an application for a certificate of non-applicability at 212 Bay Street.
so this one is also being represented, the property owner is not here, but they're being represented by Mr. David Gaby.
Okay.
And again, I would suggest, I don't have I've spoken with the homeowner and they've given me, over the phone, it stated that, Mr. Gaby can represent on their behalf, but I don't have anything in writing.
All right, well, get something in writing. And the application for certificate of non-applicability, paint the exterior of the house and repair windows using new putty and paint. All window muntins and other details will be retained or restored as appropriate.
And I also want to state that this is part of our McKnight grant program that's being funded by the Community Preservation Committee and the Springfield City Council. So for purposes of, this transparency, we just wanted to make sure that it was on the agenda, even though it's under non-applicability.
Right. Well, it's better. I mean, since I would have found it to be non-applicable anyways, we'll take a vote on it, but just for the record, probably better because of that situation. So I'd entertain a motion to accept this application for a certificate of non-applicability at 212 Bay Street to paint the exterior of the house and repair windows using new putty and paint. All windows and other details will be retained or restored as appropriate.
So moved as written.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? No? Okay. Commissioner Kroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Finn,
Yes.
Commissioner McFarland,
Yes.
thank you. Commissioner Nardi
Yes.
and Commissioner Walsh is a yes. Thank you. All right, now I think that's it.
See anything else?
Don't see anything else.
Concludes the meeting.
Do we sing, is this when we sing happy birthday to David Finn?
Is it David Finn's birthday?
I don't know. I just thought it'd be nice to sing happy birthday to David Finn.
July 16th.
Okay, well, wait.
Oh, see, I'm in the right hemisphere.
You're
Come on.
close. Yeah, you're close in July. Remind us in July. We'll sing to him then. It's not my birthday, so don't be singing to me. Okay, we're all set. There's nothing else on the agenda. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Yes, aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.